He be nubbing.
I've had enough of that.
Welcome to my world. It was 5 hours ago. Last week, 5 hours.
I didn't get the message.
What?
The message.
You didn't get the memo? There we go. Pretty cool.
A little cross-examination.
Yeah, it is. A little dissonance.
We'll give it a couple minutes for everybody to get on.
It's all right. It's all
Pretty
good.
much when the song ends.
I don't have it up there, but we can go off of it. We know who won.
And good evening, and welcome to the Swarmcast. It is the quarterfinals version. Randy Youngin here, along with Sam Brown, touchdown Sam Brown over there, our special guest tonight. We got Jamie Maters, Brian Davis, Bryce Young, as we are getting ready to head north again. The Road Warriors, Yellow Jackets, will be taking on Langston Hughes this week in what should be a heck of a game. Two very different styles of play in some ways, and we're going to jump into it and talk all about it. We're going to talk about the Rome game, huge 35-7 win where our guys really, I think, played, in my opinion, the best game we played this year. Coach Rogers will be giving us a holler after a little while. We're going to review Langston Hughes and talk about what they're bringing to the table. I can sum it up with one word: speed. Lots of it. Then we've got the Sam Brown keys to the game. We're going to talk to Sam. He's been looking at some tape and is going to share his views on what he feels like we need to do, or maybe what we don't need to do, possibly. We'll see. Then we'll take a look at the brackets and talk about who's doing what in Class 5A. Pretty easy at this point to talk about it. And then we got game picks.
We do.
Ooh, okay. All right. All right. That'll work. That'll work. Well, let's talk about Rome, guys. And first off, again, if you are watching on Facebook, share it. Share the video. Guys, we had 6,500 folks watching this thing last week,
Awesome.
which is that's the most we've had this year. And I think it's because so many folks were sharing the videos. So please, on your Facebook page, just share it so that all the Yellow Jackets know that we're on. We're normally on Thursday night, so we're doing it tonight because of Thanksgiving, so we need to let everybody know.
Yep.
And thanks to Dairy Queen.
Thanks to Dairy Queen. The blizzard tonight is a
You said
peppermint hot chocolate. It's a peppermint hot chocolate with chocolate chunks or slithers.
Well, it's
It's
good.
I'm telling you, it's giving it a run for the money for be the best one I've ate.
Yeah, that's good.
There's nothing left of mine.
It's minty
So-
fresh.
It's left. I mean,
It's good.
we're good, man.
Yeah,
But although
thanks to Dairy Queen.
the Dairy Queen doing a great job of preparing these for us tonight.
Yeah. And thanks to the
And,
Swarmcast fans for going and
doing
doing some
taking
business.
care of the promotion going on right now. 2 regular cheeseburgers for $5. 2 double cheeseburgers for $7.
Woo. Okay.
Serve them up, Greg. Get them ready.
Yeah,
They
you,
coming.
you said that folks were going in there saying,
Absolutely.
we heard it on the Swarmcast. Let me
Yep.
have them burgers.
Just go get y'all some of that
That'll work. That'll work.
and get you a blizzard
So it's a peppermint hot chocolate
with chocolate slithers.
That's pretty good.
It's good now. I'm telling you,
It's minty.
I love it.
Say hello to everybody watching on YouTube. Also, again, say hello to everybody watching on Facebook. And again, share that video so that everybody knows that we're here. Let's go back to the Rome game, guys. 35-7 win. And our guys, I thought, played really solid on both sides of the ball. Coach Rogers made a really good point today that I think was interesting. Last year, Rome took the opening drive and went right down the field and scored and kind of established some momentum on their side that he thought kind of planted a seed of doubt maybe in our minds. Our guys did the exact opposite this time. We took the opening drive, went right down and scored, and never looked back.
Yeah, it was a dominating performance from there. Start your offense, just methodically work the way downfield, not one big play or anything like that. Just work the way downfield and score. And when you're in an open position like that, and you're looking, you're thinking, okay, how's this kind of dictation going to go? And from there on out, if we encountered any adversity, it was by our own accord, really. And so you really played a complete game through and through, picked up a couple of fumbles. Jaden Rubo had a fantastic game.
Absolutely.
And Jalen was throwing dimes all night long.
16 of 19.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he made a good adjustment too.
He did.
He was, early on he was, I'm gonna say, lobbing them, floating the balls a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he realized, there's two safeties they had back there quick, so he had to change mid game, and he started throwing some lasers like bullets, and it connected, and never looked back after that.
Yep.
And fantastic performance from Deuce Lawrence, who goes over 100 yards. But I particularly want to shout out A.J. Clark. I think A.J. played his best game of the year.
Yep.
Right at 100 yards, had 2 touchdowns, ran physically, ran tough, but also had some moves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Most carries he's got in the game this year.
he looked really good. And it really does your heart good here as you're heading into this stretch here to know that you've got 2 guys here, Brian. We kind of talked about it. It's almost like you got a 1A, 1B. And that's a pretty good spot to be in.
It's almost like, in basketball, you'll have your 6th man, the man that comes off the bench. Essentially, A.J. Clark is that guy because the guy that's on the bench could just as easy start, and Clark could do it. I mean, he is a solid running back. He's no longer anything that he used to be. He is a running back. Yep. He is running like a running back finally. I think it finally started clicking about 4 or 5 games ago, and then it just slowly worked its way up, and he looks the part now. And the fact that you have those 2 guys that you can rely on, much like we had those 2 guys that we could rely on last year with Ponder and with Brenton, it's the right time for it to be clicking.
And Brian, and to comment, follow up on that, there was maybe a confidence issue that he had going on because of the hamstring that he suffered. Last year he tried to come back 2 or 3 times, and every time he would kind of get in the groove, it would hit him.
Yep.
I think it took him a little bit to kind of figure out that he could go all out.
Yep.
And walk back to the huddle and say,
Right.
"Whoa, let's do this again." So it could be a confidence thing. So, but he's always run real physical. He's always been a real physical back. So
He's for sure getting better and better every week, and I think
Absolutely.
the coaching staff is seeing that too. Because since about halfway through the season, you've seen a slow progression of 2-3 more carries a game.
Yep.
3-4, 1-2.
But that
You're adding
1-2
on.
punch, that 1-2 gut punch, man. When you got fresh backs, you can rotate in there that can go the distance anytime they touch it. I love it.
I think I can agree with you. I think one thing about AJ is that he has all the physical traits to be a great running back, but like when he's in that indecisive thing where he's just like he doesn't know if he should hit the hole or like he just like once he gets in that natural state of like running hard and knowing where he wants to go, that's when he's a great running back. That's what I think. Yeah.
Instinctive instead of thinking about it.
Yeah, he just needs to play the game.
Yep, and I think you nailed it, Jamie, because if you go back to the beginning of the year with the even last year, that Cairo game, he was almost like a 1A, 1B with him and Brenton. Yeah. But that's when he pulled that hamstring and never got over it. And again, I think just a matter of saying, "Hey, I'm good. I'm healthy." And
it's not going to tweak every time.
Right, I can go.
Yeah.
And
that and this decision making too, it's just coming with the repetitions he's getting. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, and anything you do, the more experience you got, the better off you're going to be regardless.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, it's very impressive when you look at he and Deuce right now. You combine the two of them, Deuce at 1340, AJ's at 715. There's over 2,000 yards between those 2 guys, and that's pretty sporty. Anytime you got 2,000 yard anything in that backfield running the ball, you're doing something right.
That's right.
So impressive again, A.J. Clark. The defense, my gosh. Again, the defense has just grown up so much. It was just very impressive to see what our guys did with Rome. I mean, Rome had about 70 yards at the half, something like that. Ended up with less than 150 for the night.
Yeah. And I'm going to say their structure is a little weird or odd than I expected because they're big guys that, win them games, I'm going to say. They're all skill position guys. They don't really have anybody down in the trenches or anything like that can make a difference. And I'm going to say make a difference, but they don't have a wow factor down in the trenches and stuff like that. And that showed because we were able to get in their backfield. Like I mentioned last week, if you get back there, you're going to cause some havoc and, stop or slow them down anyway.
Kind of disrupted it.
Yeah.
They never were able to get any sort of momentum offensively.
The only The only success they had was real early. Remember, they had the little drive there to start the game.
Yeah, mainly just run the ball right up the middle, really.
Well, one thing that kept happening, we would get him into 3rd and 3, 4th and 1, and they'd bring the big linebacker, Jaden.
He's good
Harmon.
Now.
And
good.
He's a big guy, and I think they've been able to line up and just kind of mash him at people.
Right.
And we didn't budge. I don't know that they converted one of those plays that he tried to get the ball to him the whole night.
You remember when we played Coffee? Coffee kind of found some success right there in the interior on one drive, and when we're thinking, okay, this is about to be it, and then eventually it just broke, and it was like, what happened with it? I guess we made an adjustment and figured it out. It was kind of a similar thing there.
If you'll notice, though, anything that's worked in the first half this year for anybody, it don't work in the second half.
That's been the biggest, I'm going to say, one of the biggest coaching positives I've seen this year out of this team. Like you say, if you see something go wrong in the first half, you won't see it in the second. They've shut that all the way down pretty much.
If you do, it's just that we're just overmatched.
Yeah,
right. We're just because it ain't because we didn't make an adjustment or whatever. So we do a good job of making adjustments and
offensively and defensively.
Yeah,
both sides.
You could Sam's he knows all about how that works, but man, I go in there and I'm just in awe of how the communication is unbelievable. On how they know our players individually. They know what puts our players in the best situation to win, and that's what they go with.
Yep.
They don't try to do any hanky-panky stuff. It's all based on what we have.
Yep.
That's what we focus on.
Well, a couple of things I want to share with you. I got our team stats that I printed up, and there's some very impressive things that stand out here. By the way, now Jalen Johnson's at 25.99 passing, Sam. So your record is in jeopardy here. It was 26.99 or 29.
28, wasn't it?
What was like?
Yeah. I was going to say he's got to check on it, but he's knocking on the door. Jalen I think it's Coach Justin Rogers.
Oh Lord, here we go.
26.96.
26.96. Okay. Coach Justin Rogers, what are you doing, ma'am?
I don't know. Just sitting around relaxing.
There you go. The calm before the storm of Thanksgiving, right?
No doubt.
Congratulations on the Rome win, Coach. Solid victory, complete victory on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I thought our kids came out and just played really, really well. I thought it was one of our, if not the best complete game we played from all units, offense, defense, special teams. I think the drive down, on the opening drive to go down there and score right off the jump from the first drive, I think really just kind of set the tone for the game, and the boys kind of had a chance to kind of exhale and then realize this thing was going to be a little bit different than it was the year before.
Yeah, and you made a really good point that last year they went right down the field on that opening drive that they had, and they kind of set the tone for the night with that, and I think it may have planted a little seed of not doubt, but it may have mixed us up enough that the rest of the night was kind of up in the air. But again, like you said, we put a foot on the gas in this one and never took it off.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, I think it did place a little seed of doubt on their sideline. Like as, oh, Lord, we're going to lose to them again. When you go down there and you put that drive together, and then the way we played in the first half, I mean, they had to feel, very happy to only be down 14-0.
Right.
Really should have been about 24-0.
Yep.
And so I think there's a lot of doubt, with the way we played in that first half that they had, and you could even see some frustration.
Whenever you look at the game, Coach, I thought your offensive line again played masterfully. They just so impressive, run block and pass block and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, but like I say, it was a complete game, played clean. Really was able to establish a run and get vertical run. But then, like I say, when we wanted to throw it, we had great protection for Jalen to be able to throw it out there.
And I know you want to comment to the fans about, when you go into somebody else's stadium like Rome, which is a traditional power, they're not the Holy Sisters of the Deaf and Blind or something. I mean, you're talking a program that everybody in this state knows, and you're outnumbering them 2 and 3 and 1 in the stands. That is such an impressive statement about this entire program to me.
Yeah, I think it's more impressive that you go into a stadium and take it over, and it ain't an hour away or 2 hours away. It's 5 hours away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the more impressive piece to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rome, such a traditional program to do that, but to do it at all the way on the other end of the state, headed north, I mean, that's just a testament to the support and the community that we have. It's truly amazing.
Yeah, and you said that you told the kids that they just needed to really soak it up.
No doubt. I mean, I've been around. I've been in a lot of places. A part of some really good fan bases. I mean, we've had some really good fan bases at other places I've been at. But this one's a whole nother animal altogether. And it's just so amazing. And again, I mean, we've been winning and winning at a high level, but it truly feels genuine. Like it is genuine support and love for these kids, and it ain't transactional. They just love it on them because who they are, and they love it on them because the pride they have in the school.
So tell everybody now about Hughes. This is a totally different looking bunch than what we saw this last week.
Ooh, ain't no doubt. They are. I mean, I've been joking around with people. They're sponsored by Jimmy John's, man. They're freaky fast. And they are so stinking quick and fast. And that's the deal. I mean, the Maurice Gleaton kid, I think he's like number 15. He is literally the fastest man in Georgia history. Yeah. I mean, he's a track and field star that's committed to Georgia. I mean, incredible elite Olympic speed, and so that's what they have. I mean, they've got 3 of their 4x100 team out there at receiver, and so that's going to be what we have to match up with. It's just kind of controlling that speed, making sure that we take good angles and we make good tackles. They don't give up the explosive plays, the big plays. Make them try to drive at 8 plays and get down there. But we say all that. Don't forget about size. They got 2 tackles, one going to Georgia, one going to Auburn, tight end going to Texas A&M. I mean, so they've got major college athletes all over the field. So it'll be a tough task for us, but I mean, we ain't no slouch either. Well, we got good ball players too, so it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and talking to you, it sounds like they're a home run team. They don't want to hit singles and doubles to put themselves in position to score. They want home runs.
They're swinging for the fence now. Right. They're trying to get it out of the park right now. The biggest thing that concerns me is just how do we handle the scramble plays, the off schedule plays. Right. I mean, I guarantee a third of their offense and scores come from that. The quarterback scrambles out of the pocket and receivers break off on routes and then they're getting big chunk plays and doing that. And so that gets you nervous there. So, yeah, no doubt real home run team.
Now, offensively, when we line up against their defense, we've got a big size advantage with our line against their defensive line. Now, they got a little bit of size in the middle, but it looks like at least physically we've got a shot at making some noise there.
Yeah, we're going to need to. I mean, they want you to run horizontally. They want you to go sideline to sideline and let them use their speed. Mm-hmm. To kind of track you down, and we need to play a vertical game. And so we need to establish a vertical run. And when we get opportunities to hit shots and some seam balls up the seams, take it then. But until we can get that vertical run game going, I think we're playing in their hands. So, yeah, we need the O-line to be able to match up against that and get some runs going vertical on them.
It doesn't sound like, as far as our bunch is concerned, we don't have to play over our heads, just play our game is what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's every night. I mean, we've got a good football team.
Yeah.
And
peaking too, Coach. That's the other thing.
Yeah, playing well. And so we just got to continue to play our game, protect the football. I mean, the one loss we had 3 interceptions and a pick 6. I mean, not great. And so as long as we don't help the other team, don't turn the ball over, don't make major mistakes, and play our game, I mean, we're a really good football team. They can win them all.
Coach, let me ask you, defensively with those big wide receivers like they have, what do you do to keep them in front of you? Do you try to disguise some stuff? Do you just let them play man-to-man and let your boys do what they do?
Well, at this stage of the game, you got to mix it up a little bit. Right. Okay, you can't just sit in one thing. People are going to be too good for that. You're going to have to probably have to play off a little bit more. Maybe not come up and jam them as much and play as aggressive as we typically like to do. So you'll probably see a lot more catch technique, a little bit off, and then you'll see a lot of dime package. Mm-hmm. And so we'll play a lot of dime, play 5 DBs out there and try to get some help in the back end that way, especially situationally when you get them in some second longs and definitely on some third and longs. Just go ahead and get the dime and try to get an extra guy out there and be able to bracket people.
And your defensive line coach has played so well in the second half of this season. I'm interested to see how that goes for him here against that big offensive line.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I say, we need them to get pressure with 4 So if they can get pressure with 4 and we can make sure to keep everything dropped back out with the other 7, then we can try to help bracket and help on some routes.
You guys are heading out tomorrow afternoon. It sounds like some of Thomas County is going to show up to see you guys off. You're heading out about 4:15. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're gonna take the field tomorrow morning for a walkthrough at 7 a.m. So if anybody's around, want to come out, watch a little ball, get you a cup of coffee, come on out. We'll be out on the practice field we're walking out at 7, and we'll do our little walkthrough there between 7 and 8. And then everybody will get to leave and go do Thanksgiving with their family. And then the guys that are traveling up report back at 4 o'clock, and we'll get all the buses loaded, and we're going to pull out about 4:15 and head to Atlanta.
Well, and Coach, congratulations. 3rd consecutive year. I think I told you now that's only happened the 3rd consecutive year in the quarterfinals. It's only happened one time in our program history, and that's pretty sporty.
That's wild to me too. I wouldn't have thought that. And so had run a 5 state championships. I was like, holy crow.
Yep,
So that's pretty cool. But it's a big deal. Like I say, I've told y'all before. I mean, there's 2 thresholds to when you really have a great year, and you win double-digit wins, and then the second one is you play on Thanksgiving and after.
Right.
Those are really special years when you do those 2 things. So these boys should be commended, and I know I'm super proud of them, and I know this community is super proud of them for an inexperienced group that we didn't really know. They sure did come through, didn't they?
Sure have. Hey, grown up right in front of us. Guys, y'all got anything for Coach before we let him go? Coach, go enjoy your family. Go enjoy some Turkey Day, and we'll see you on the way out tomorrow. Y'all be careful.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Go Jackets.
Amen. Well, it is what it is. I mean, at this point in time, you got everybody's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bottom line. I mean, there's no slouches left. And Lord knows how well we know. I mean, I go back to that 2022 Roswell game where I thought we had it in our hip pocket. I mean, you just got to take care of your business, and when you get your foot on the gas pedal, keep it on there. And again, there's no slouches left. Just got to take care of your business.
That's right.
Thanks to Dairy Queen one more time. We want to thank
yeah.
Greg Davis for the peppermint hot chocolate. Peppermint hot chocolate with chocolate slivers, as Jamie Mater said.
Go by and see the Curl Crew. They'll take care of you.
I got to tell you something. I think your French silk pie thing has become legendary.
Oh, that's good. It ain't got much on this one though. It's they're neck and neck. I love the peppermint taste in there. It's really good. Greg, you hit a home run on this one.
Yeah,
awesome.
Obadiah Farley asked a question about the safety that wasn't called. Now, Jamie, you were down there.
Well, Kenneth Fleming.
Was it Kenny?
Let me tell you something. I was standing right there, and that ball never got out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Now, his helmet got to about the 1. The ball never got to never got in it. So I'm going to tell you what I seen down there, Mr. Fleming.
Yeah.
That was a safety.
Yeah. I think most everybody thought that it was, at least our sidelines did. But real quick, offering up some of the stats that I wanted to share before I forgot to do it. What is remarkable is looking at the touchdowns that we have scored and that the opposition has scored. Thomas County Central's defense has given up 18 total touchdowns thus far this season. We have scored 72 touchdowns for the season. We are averaging right at, if I could find it here, 225 passing yards a game. We're averaging 236 rushing yards a game. And that's pretty doggone sporty. And again, balance. That's the thing that's so impressive.
Hey, does the touchdowns against us, the 18, is that including the, like 3 or 4 kickoff returns too? You remember?
Now I don't know.
I think Florida High had 2 return for a touchdown, and then the week before had 1.
Monroe had 1.
Yep.
So you can wipe away 3 there if it doesn't factor that in.
That's a good question.
Which I'm sure that's probably just total scored against the team, probably.
Well, it says rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns. So there's nothing on here about special teams touchdowns. So those may not be in those figures. But still, you're talking 3, maybe 4 or so. But just when I think about this team, and I've had people this week, friends of mine that are up from around Atlanta saying, what's the secret? This is a team under Coach Rogers, and you can talk about this, Sam. If it needs to be a passing team, it can be a passing team. If it needs to be a rushing team, it can be a rushing team.
It's really just based off the defense and what they come out in, because basically every single play, you either have 3 plays. You can either throw it throw a one-on-one, you can have a screen, or you're going to run the ball, and even then you can still run read option.
Mhm.
And then as a quarterback in this system, we're taught what to be able to change the play to if they come out in a certain defense. Like one play, we'll have like we can have 2 runs in one play, and I just take that and look at the defense,
Mhm.
and then there's just like a lot of different things. So like basically whatever the defense comes out in, they're going to be wrong if you know what to do.
Right. And Jamie, and it seems like we're making the right decisions down
absolutely.
there too.
Jalen does a good job
Yep.
of
Recognizing
making
it.
the calls.
Yep.
I mean,
Hey, one thing too that I applaud Rodgers for is you don't. I don't know how you don't see it a lot nowadays, but you don't. Coaches don't feed the hot hand that much, and I think Rodgers and the staff does a great job at doing that. You know, if we're running the ball well, we're going to keep running it. We're not going to switch it.
Yep.
And, I mean, everybody knows their favorite college team. Not a lot of them do that, which is kind of weird to me on itself because you want to win the game, obviously. But anyway, just want to offer that 2 cents too.
And you got 6 guys, actually 7 guys, that when they get their hands on the ball as a receiver, Brian, they know what to do with it.
Well, my standout, let's pass Friday, was JB. He has some of the best footwork.
Yep.
You're going to see at wide receiver. The way he can make guys miss out there in space, if you're not going to cleanly tackle him, he will get away from you every time.
every time.
He has the way to be able to shed a tackle, I think, and that's just one of his attributes versus everybody else. You've got multiple guys that can do multiple things. Dunbar can climb the ladder and get up and get the ball.
Yep.
Man,
You know, he wants to be the guy that has to jump up because he's going to out jump whoever he's against.
he is the deep threat receiver.
Right.
Yep.
And then you've got Rayberg that likes to operate on the perimeter, that likes that tight coverage right there, but Jalen's able to fold it and get it right in there. So you've got multiple avenues there to be able to get the ball
and then
out.
you've got Gary Pringle, which is just like a unicorn.
Right.
He's a nightmare as far as getting paired up with a linebacker or somebody because
It's like Malachi.
he's going to be the linebacker every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do do such good job with Gary on camouflaging him too. Because I'm telling you, a lot of these passes he catches are uncontested just because he schemes so well.
Yep.
I mean, if you go back and look at like Lee County touchdown, well,
Bootleg.
it's
Throw
just
it underneath.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on a little, I'm going to say, well, it ends up looking like a wheel route when he runs downfield after the catch. But yeah, it's just a good camouflage and scheme job across the board.
I mean, to me, you go from Jay Jones, who's a senior receiver who is as dependable as the day is long.
Yeah.
You got Deuce Lawrence, who can catch. I mean, we're splitting him out now.
Or we're putting AJ in the backfield and letting him split out.
With the backs that we have, I mean, just think about it. 14's getting healthy now.
Yeah, Kobe
Carnage is getting healthy.
He looked good at the end of the game.
He's going to start getting some totes to keep those guys fresh.
Yeah.
So
you,
I mean,
you bring in that fresh set of legs in the fourth quarter, and he can run through you or run by
he
you.
can roll now.
And there's no taper off as far as
That's
talent goes. And that's a lot of times when people are having to bring in relievers this time of the season, there's a reason that they're still on G varsity. And now we are deep.
And there's one down there that nobody talks about, but he is going to be he's a phenom.
You're talking about PT, DeMario PT?
Oh,
yes,
PT.
sir. He is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's got something to him that's special.
I don't. He's your D Reddick. He is unbelievable athlete.
But you go to Ethan Rayberg, Gary Pringle, Roddy Dunbar, J.B. Watkins. Oh, and by the way, now we're starting to run Trey Pringle a lot more on offense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was the best wide receiver we had last year. So that's a lot of weapons.
And Trey and Rayberg, they are both really good at sitting in the soft spot of those zones too, on like curls and slants and stuff like that. Like on a slant, everybody knows, obviously it's self-explanatory. They'll slow their route down or really almost come to a complete stop on it. They just can field the defense so well.
And I think is that pretty awesome to have that. Those receivers like that recognizes that soft zone to where they can get
when
in
they
there.
can read the coverage with you, that's when you get the chemistry really going because you already know where you're about to throw it and they're going to be there like 9 times out of 10.
I just, you being a quarterback and all, I mean, it's just.
And you were lucky you had some guys like that.
Absolutely.
It felt like, I mean, I think Tyler was a master of that.
Yeah, me and him, we knew what each other were going to do before we even did it every time because we did it in practice every single day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Again, if you're watching on Facebook, share the video, please. Last week, again, we had over 6,000 people watching this thing because of you guys sharing that video all over the place. Lakeisha Esther's making the comment that it sounds like our defense is going to have to have a really great game. The bottom line with Langston Hughes, they are doing a good job on their defensive side as well. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. They're scoring 47 points a game, but they're only giving up 12 points a game. So you're talking a scoring differential between about 35 points. But one of the points you made, Brian, that kind of interests me is about the strength of their schedule.
Yep. So they've only played 5 teams with a 500 or better record. They are 4-1 against those teams. Most recently, obviously, was Roswell. But
and Roswell, by the way, had 4 turnovers in that ball game against them last week that they lost 31-21.
So I went back and looked at some stuff. Some of the big plays that Langston had last week. They had a big 32-yard pass. 15 yards of that was after contact. A 58-yard touchdown pass. 23 yards of that was after contact. A 44-yard run. A linebacker made contact in the backfield. He slipped away from him and went 44 yards. Langston is getting a lot of yards after contact, and so that's kind of just athletically sets them where they're at. They've just got athletes everywhere on the field. When you look at their strength of schedule and you see who they've played, they've only been tested really 2 times.
Yeah.
Roswell and Douglas County, which they lost. And so you see that matchup, you're like, okay, it's not like we're dealing with King Ghidorah here, the 3-headed monster. We are dealing with a football team that is untested some, but has been tested and responded in some ways. I feel like if we can come out and be physical, that will set us apart immediately and then possibly set a tone. And plus, too, I don't know what that team's going to do when you pull away from them. If you can get a lead and then sustain it, I don't know what that team's going to do in between the ears because they haven't been tested that way a whole lot this year.
This is a big football team. They have size, as Coach mentioned. They've got 2 tackles on their offense, one going to Georgia, one to Auburn, or at least committed that way, and the tight end to Texas A&M. But they don't play a physical brand of football. It's more of a finesse type game where they want to get a guy isolated with somebody. Like you're saying, you miss a tackle and they've got a touchdown.
Cost you.
From anywhere on the field. So tackling is going to be of the utmost priority for this particular football game.
I feel like our schedule has played into our favor, though, because we have been tested in a similar way against Houston County, athletic wide receivers, athletic quarterback, and that was a very good litmus test for what we could possibly be seeing on Friday night.
Yep, agreed. Let's talk about some of their stats, just so you know, and this will illustrate it now. Christian Langford is their quarterback. He is a senior. He was the quarterback at Buford before Dylan Raiola showed up there 3 years ago.
2.
He has 2,659 yards. He's 145 out of 199 attempts. So he's only had like 40 incompletions.
It's a 75% something completion percentage, yeah.
Quarterback rating of 148.2.
Wow. And what's that go up to? 160?
160.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for comparison's sake, Jalen's quarterback rating is 134, and we know how good he's done.
Yeah.
So that's impressive. But and the fact too, 31 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions for the whole season.
And I think he threw 1 against Roswell.
Yep. And 2 of that should have been picked that were just dropped by Roswell. Roswell had their shots. They just couldn't take advantage of it. Now, running the football, as far as their numbers are concerned, all added up, it's similar to ours. But they don't have anybody that's a 1,000-yard rusher right here. Quintavious Wiggins, who is a junior, has 897, and Carson Baker, who's a junior, has 934. So between the two of them, about 1,700 yards. The wild card there is a quarterback. Again, Langford is averaging about 8 yards a pop. He's got right at 400 yards rushing himself. So when you look at his total yardage now, he's over 3,000 total yards for the year. Anytime you're talking about somebody with 3,000 total yards, they're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their top receiver, Jabari Jones, 490 yards. The kid that actually Gleaton is the top receiver. He is the track guy. 10-1 100 meter. 10-1. I mean, that is Olympic speed. He has 517 receiving yards, but he's averaging 35 yards a catch. So they're getting it to him in space, and he's making people miss. And if you miss him, he's gone. I mean, it's the bottom line. So they are a potent offensive team and defensive team. I'm just very curious to see how they respond if we're able to do what we've been doing and, again, kind of punch them in the mouth, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. And you heard Coach Rogers talk about, the keys to the game that, I'm sure he's going to heavily outline just because we've seen a little bit of struggles in the start of the season on it, is the quarterback contain.
Yep.
If you get too much pressure, that's a bad thing.
Yep.
He's running right in front of you, in between everybody. Can't catch him.
Yep.
And if you stay back and put no pressure on him, he's going to have all day to throw to his receivers. But if you can just contain him in the pocket and take away his scramble ability and make him beat you in the air alone, I think you stand a lot better chance doing that and help the back end too.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to worry about coming up and, run stoppage if the quarterback's not scrambling. They can lock on their assignments and, be the primary focus anyway.
You want to share what you're just showing me?
Noah Lyles, who won gold in the 100 meter in the most recent Olympics, ran a 9.79. This kid is running a 10.1.
Yep.
That's how close that kid is to winning gold in the Olympics as a 18-year-old. That is absurd.
Yep. Well, again, he's a heck of an athlete, and that's what they've got all over the field. If there's one word that you want to have in your brain thinking about this game, it is speed. They've got speed everywhere. They've got good size. Don't get me wrong, but it is speed that they hang their hat on, and they're a big play offense. They do not want to drive the football. They want to have those big home runs.
And we go back to Houston County. I still bring it up because I think it's the closest we've seen to this offense style this year. When Houston County had to have those long sustained drives or those 8, 9, 10 play drives that they weren't used to, they got real tired real quick, and we took advantage of that later on. I think we may see a similar thing here. If we can somehow just extend their drives, not necessarily just do damage control, keep everything in front of you, force them to make a mistake later on, I think that bodes well into our favor.
Yep. Let me point out that Jaden Rubo has been nominated by Sports Illustrated as the Georgia Player of the Week. And I'm going to see if I can get Casey to share the link for the website to go vote for him. The last I heard, he was in the lead. I don't know if he is anymore. But Jaden was he had about 30% of all the votes. So if you have not done so, or even if you have done so, go ahead and go do it again. I know 2 grandmas that sent me a message today and said they had voted about 200 times apiece. But if you get a chance, go on there and vote for Jaden Rubo as the Georgia High School Player of the Week. One question was asked about Jalen Johnson and what college we thought would fit him. That's a really good question. Jalen's got a unique skill set in that he can run the ball, but he's not a speedster. He wants to be physical, got a fantastic arm, very accurate.
You know what I'm going to say? And I'm just going to use big schools, for example. It's too hard to think of about all that. I feel like, and this is maybe my bias coming into it, I feel like he would be like a stereotypical Florida quarterback, all the pistol we run and what Florida runs down there. Probably that, because that offense lets you scramble if you need to, but also do a lot of bootlegs, rollouts, and hit corner outs and slants, stuff like that. Stuff he's doing now.
I can see that.
Maybe.
I can see that.
His play is really similar to that of South Carolina's quarterback this season.
Lenore Sellers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Similar.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like Carolina would be a good fit as well for that similar reason, like you were talking
They
about. Very
run a lot
similar offenses.
Yeah, they run a lot of pistol too.
Yeah.
Well, LSU's the same way though. LSU relies on that quarterback run every now and then.
Yeah, you're right. Historically, they have to.
Yeah.
And what's been curious is that Jalen right now, he's not being flooded with offers. Now it's coming, but right now it just hasn't happened. So I think again you'll see it before it's over with. Lakeisha Esther was asking about Deuce. Deuce Lawrence is fine. That's good news. He in fact he took a shot. I don't want to say a targeting shot, and you saw it, Jamie, whenever he got hit.
His neck got bent backward.
Yep. And,
he was on the way down, and somebody come across the front.
Yep. And
on their sideline.
Yeah.
So it was kind of over there.
Yeah. But he came. He was down for a little while, but it was more of a neck thing than a head injury. We were all terrified that he was concussed or some sort of something. You never want to see that, but he's going to be okay. He'll be fine, and he's going to be a part of the game plan for Friday as well. So we asked Sam to go online and look at Langston Hughes, and based on his view as a quarterback and as a player, to offer up a couple of keys to victory. So what'd you come up with, Sam?
So first off, defensive wise, I definitely think that we're going to need to be able to wrap them up and not let them break the tackles, like you said, after the yards after contact. That's where they get like their explosive plays from. And then if you take that away, they're just going to throw deep shots.
Right.
And then whenever they throw deep shots, we need to either be able to pick it off or bat it down.
And I like our secondary's chances now. I think, again, this may be the best secondary they've seen.
Every time you ask them to step up this year, they've done it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Defense as a whole.
I think D. Reddick's probably one of the best safeties in the country, honestly.
Yep.
So I think he'll have a good game too.
Yep. All right, so that's one. Got to tackle when you have an opportunity to tackle.
Yeah, and then on offense, I think we need to establish the run game just like up the middle because they're really fast, and like when you have people that like are extremely fast, like you were saying, they got Olympic medals at receivers, and they're just like fast all around. You don't want to go sideways; you just want to go straight up the middle.
Right. And I think too, what that does is it gives you a chance to kind of control the tempo of the game. What you don't want this to turn into is a shootout.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And not saying that a lot of points won't get scored. I think that there's a possibility that both sides may score some points, but you do not want to get into a give and take with them.
And their defensive fronts gave up I'm going to say a manageable amount or a substantial amount in between the tackles right there. Right. I mean, so I think there's ground to be gained, you know.
Well, and if you
plan.
run directly at them, that is going to wear them down quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's your end game there is just to slowly keep them on their heels and work them back.
Well, and too, Sam, you know this, if you're able to establish that physical presence with your run game, that opens everything up for your passing game.
Yeah, for the passing game.
Yep.
And then also I think that from what I watched, Langston does a lot of the same things that we do. So I think that'll be good for our defense because I've seen them run RPOs, throwing deep, and then they have option routes like you were saying where they don't even have a route. They just run around until they're open.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
well, let me say this as he's gathering his thoughts. What he just said is something that Coach Rogers pointed out to me this afternoon. The quarterback has so much confidence in those receivers, which I mean, heck, I get it. I mean, you've got a bunch of college receivers here. He just throws it up and lets them go make a play, and they're doing it. Yeah. So, I mean, you can say, I don't want to say street ball, but if it's working, it's working.
Yeah.
You know, and clearly what they've been doing has been working.
I also think they have a very wide variety of plays also. Like I've seen them doing where they do orbit motions into like triple option. We've played against teams like St. Pius where they run the veer, so we're ready for stuff like that. And then RPOs, we go against our own offense and defense every day. That's what we love to do. And I just think it's a good matchup for both sides of the ball for us, honestly.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, cool.
And then it'll come down to who makes the mistakes less.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that, and I'm not trying to
very good points.
Not trying to bring out any criticism toward our defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because we play so fast that we've sometimes gotten out of position and allowed quarterbacks to be successful as far as running the football. Like we'll get inside where the quarterback scrambles out on the. So I think it's going to be very important for us to set the edge and make sure if he's going to scramble, he's going to have to go up the middle of the field.
Right.
We don't want to give him that sideline or anything because.
Well, they can
understand. He'll make you pay for it.
Well, we're talking about them causing a one-on-one situation where you miss one tackle and now they're gone.
Yeah. That's right.
And I'll say this too: they watched their film. Now, one thing that stood out to me that I know they watched last week was Rome had their best receiver one-on-one over there, and they just throw pop shots, and we got a lot of PI calls, pass interference calls over there.
And maybe one of those was legit.
True, yes.
The other ones, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they saw it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to try.
Oh, yeah.
So that's you got. I mean, we know expect you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. You're not going to get the well, I'll just clean ball.
That's right.
Equal. But just got to be disciplined on that edge
Yeah,
too.
that 50-50 ball's always,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
And it's hard
tough,
because
man.
if you're, I mean, I think we play very disciplined now, but
I
it's
do
like,
too.
and if you give too much
Yeah.
of, I'm going to say, coverage up right there, I mean, you're just going to let them catch the ball. So what do you do?
Well, that worries me when you play off and
Right, me
you
too.
don't test them.
Yeah.
Or because most of their yards is yak yards after the catch.
Right.
So
That's just giving up the easy stuff.
I know,
That's it.
But I mean, you throw the little guy a little
Intro.
5-yard
Yeah.
pass, and that turns into 50.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even just a
So-
5-yard. I mean, if you're giving them, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do by
But
no
we're-
means, but if you give them 10, 15 yards coverage, all they got to do is run 4 yards, turn around. They've got 5 yards per play. And that can hurt you bad too.
Well, but we're extremely athletic back there. That's what
Yeah.
we're good.
right.
And
So
not
I
only
think
that,
we'll tackle well. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, I do too.
let me say this. I think our defensive coaches will be able to dial up disruption into the backfield. We have done a fantastic job. I mean, look at what we did with Houston.
Yeah.
Our guys were in the backfield all night long.
Yep.
And I think that you're going to see one of those situations. And Sam knows from a quarterback standpoint, this is what you hate, is when we'll line up in something and then change it the moment the ball snaps. So you got an idea in your mind of what's happening, and now all of a sudden it's not.
Yeah.
And Coach Rogers has complimented our secondary. He's told me that it's one of the few high school secondaries that he's coached where these guys feel so good about what they're doing. They'll line up in one coverage, but when the ball snaps, it goes to a totally different thing. And in high school, that's unusual.
Yeah.
And
I think last week when we got those PIs back to back to back, we got caught in a fact of not turning around and making the play on the ball. And even though it was a clean coverage, the fact that we never made the play on the ball in a referee's
around.
eyes, when he
Yeah.
looks and sees it and he sees a guy on the ground,
Yeah.
it's automatic yell every time because he never made the play on the ball. That would be the only takeaway for me, is that we have to make sure that initiative is there to make the play on the ball.
Yep.
But as far as the coverage goes, I think it's there.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure we protect ourselves in
That
Yeah.
they made one great catch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy made a heck of a
That was
catch over our
ridiculous.
guy.
Yeah, it was.
One-handed.
Yep.
I mean, he's just an athlete.
But the rest of them we was in their hip pocket.
Right.
contested. Yeah.
And we, like you said, we just didn't turn around and try to find the ball.
Yeah.
And you're going to get caught on that a lot.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks love that. That's the whole thing about throwing short, right?
Mhm.
Back shoulder.
Yep.
Now you got to come through the defense, but you're trying to make the play on the ball. You get a PI because he didn't allow you to come to the ball.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. You turn a 50-50 shot twice, and that turns
That's-
a 75% favor in
Absolutely.
your favor,
So, I mean,
Lakeisha Esther, by the way, Brian, is asking, other than Douglas, what tough teams have they played? Well, and you said the other one was probably Roswell, the toughest team?
So they played Dutchtown, who was the number 3 or 4 seed out of their region, and beat them handedly. Noonan was the number 2 seed.
which Coffee destroyed.
No, Sprayberry.
Or
Well, no,
Sprayberry
actually,
destroyed.
they played Dunwoody, but they played Dutchtown in regular season.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Dutchtown was the
in the
3 or
regular
4
season.
seed from
Yep.
there. Other than that, that's been it. Roswell and Douglas County are the 2 toughest they faced. Now, if you go off of the comparing apples and oranges with Noonan and Sprayberry and comparing Dutchtown with Milton, you're kind of grasping at straws there, I believe, as far as competition to competition. I fully believe that Roswell and Douglas are the 2 toughest teams they face this year, just because I've seen who Roswell and Douglas have faced on the other side.
Yeah. And now Dutchtown, they beat them 57-14.
Right. And then Milton beat Dutchtown. It wasn't far off from that. So
Rodney Evanson, by the way, my friend from Brooks County, is saying that Jaden is now behind in the voting, 33% to 30. So again, if you guys have got that link for the Sports Illustrated Player of the Week, go in there and vote for Jaden Rubo. Let's take a look at the brackets before we get a whole lot further. Let's go down to the lower right-hand corner. And I don't know if you've got last week's bracket or not, the one that I sent you last week. Casey's going to go dig and see if he can find it. That's the corner where Houston County and Milton are.
Man,
Houston County is making a run.
I am so eager to see what the game
happens.
turns into. Like, I just want to see how it goes.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I mean,
Yeah, Milton.
we'll have a pretty good idea of what Milton's all
Milton's
about.
got.
Milton took out Dutchtown 41-3, and then Houston County took out Lakeside Evans 63-12. And that's after they beat a number 1 seed 69-48 the previous week. So you've got 2 powerhouse
And
offenses.
remember now, we just said that who won 57-14?
Are you talking about Dutchtown and Langston?
Yeah, Langston.
Yeah.
And Milton beat them what?
41-3.
Yeah.
So it's close to its overall spread, but
And
they just
Dutch-
lost.
So
one.
we're
Dutchtown was
getting
a-
to where all the teams are
Yeah.
pretty equal.
Yep.
Dutchtown was the 3 seed out of Langston's region.
Okay.
They don't make it here by luck. Everybody's here
Yeah,
for a reason
everybody's
at this
There's
point.
There's
yeah.
no slouches left. So Houston County goes to Milton. That could end up being a basketball score.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be, and I will say this now. I mean, if Milton shuts the Houston County offense down, I'm going to walk out going, okay, they are as legit
real,
as everybody thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then up in the top part of that bracket, Sprayberry took out Noonan 35-7. Lee County blasted East Paulding 63-14. So look at Lee County and Houston. Houston defeated Lakeside Evans 63-12. Lee County defeated East Paulding 63-14. So between those two teams, 126-26. That's pretty sporty.
Pretty sweet. I'd
That's
say
pretty
Region
sporty.
2 is pretty sporty.
Yeah, all of the teams out of our region are in the quarterfinals.
And believe me, that's just the 1 seed and the 4 seed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know during the season we knew we had one of the toughest regions out there, but man, I did not think all 4 would still be here. I thought at least 1 would fall out. I had confidence in.
Well, when you got 8 teams left and half of them are from one region,
That's what I'm saying. That's impressive.
what in the heck? That's crazy. But
I
anyway,
love
so Sprayberry will be going to Lee County. Now, let's say this. Because of the coin toss thing that we talked about earlier, which Thomas County Central won that coin toss, or the side we're on, the lower part of the bracket won the coin toss.
Yep.
If Lee gets by Sprayberry and Milton were to get by Houston, then Lee County would go to Houston, or Lee County would go to Milton to play. Now, but if Houston County defeats Milton, then they would go to Lee County because Lee County is the higher seeded team. So the
Right.
coin toss becomes
And
non-existent.
that was the last game of the regular season.
Mhm.
Where did they play that? They play that in Houston.
At Lee.
And
Yeah,
that was
at
a
Lee.
and
That was the
a
shootout.
close
Shootout.
game.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was a shootout.
Don't give them a second chance. Don't
So
do it.
let's go to the other side of the bracket, of the top left, where you had Coffee County defeating Brunswick. That's a number 3 against a number 1, and Coffee won 45-15. So Coffee County, their offense, they found something.
Yeah.
And Coffee County now will travel to, I think the surprise team in the whole thing is Sequoia. They are playing really, really well. They took out Woodward 35-17. And, of course, Woodward was in the state championship against us last year. So Coffee will travel to Sequoia. Sequoia is scoring a lot of points. And I'm interested to see how Coffee County's defense, which has been very consistent this year, handles that.
And Sequoia is the number 2 seed from Sprayberry's region.
Yeah, and that quadrant up there from the get-go was the oddball one, I felt like.
Kind of weird.
Because when Woodward was the 1 seed in there, right?
Yeah, Woodward and Brunswick.
And we all knew that they weren't the same caliber team this year. They were last.
Yeah, they struggle coming out of the gate
Yeah.
for sure.
And
Mhm.
so, I mean, we know what Coffee County is, but Sequoia, I have no clue what you're getting into with that. But
That's one of those teams, man, where
Making a
you
run.
never
This
hear
is
anything.
what-
Kind of like
yeah.
Thomas County in
Yeah.
'92.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never know.
In fact, this is the deepest run Sequoia has ever made in the playoffs.
in school history,
Yep, school history.
wow.
And then the lower left-hand part of the bracket, which is where we are, Thomas County Central, of course, took out Rome 35-7. Hughes beat Roswell 31-21, so we will travel to Hughes. Now, again, the good news is the coin toss fell in Thomas County's favor. So, regardless, if we're able to get through Langston Hughes,
That's the first objective there.
Yeah.
yep, that's priority number 1. You get through Langston Hughes somehow, some way. Regardless of who wins between Sequoia and Coffee, you will be home next week for the first ever semifinal to be played at the Jacket's Nest. Never had one there.
I can
crazy, isn't it?
imagine.
Ooh,
That thing will be off the chain.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
that will be fun. But
Hey,
take
we're
care of your
gonna-
business.
Hey, to the fans out there, we're going to make Langston Hughes off the chain this week.
yeah.
We've got a chance to do something I ain't never seen. We just fill up the whole
Yeah,
stadium.
at any level.
Well, and let me share with you guys, because I shared a photograph that was shared with me by a friend of mine who has kids going to Langston Hughes. They have had a hard time drawing fans. He said that they've not had more than 400 or 500 people at any home game this year, and this Friday night, for whatever reason, their band is not going to perform. And I'm honestly, the stadium seats 3,800. We could easily have 3,500 or more from Thomas County heading. And I know the rules state that the Georgia High School Association states that they're splitting the tickets with us. You're buying the tickets online from GoFan, and GoFan doesn't know whether you're a Langston Hughes fan or a Central fan. All they know is the ticket's being purchased. And there's no doubt, and there's no way around the fact that some of our fans are going to have to sit on the home side. There's no way around that.
But do not let that discourage you from going.
And making noise. Hey, let's do our thing.
I mean, honestly, this is an opportunity. I think you nailed it. It is an opportunity to completely take over a stadium.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Unlike anything we've ever seen. And our fans last week took the stadium over.
I'll be honest. I think some of our fans would prefer to sit on their side.
Yeah.
You know?
All I'm going to say is if you're on that side, blow them horns. We'll take those penalties. And
Not too many. No,
I'm talking about it'll be on their side.
Yeah, what do you do then?
Yeah.
Good point.
And
but anyway,
Ken Hortman just made a real good point that if Milton wins the state championship, which is entirely possible, they will have gone through 3 of the 4 teams from Region 2.
Yeah.
Right.
So they will earn it.
Yeah.
They will earn it.
I think they're the favorite team to win.
No doubt. No doubt.
Obviously,
You're talking
for what they did last year.
Well, I mean, they should. They've got a whole D1 roster, so it's
11 D1 commitments on that team. 11.
crazy.
And again, of the 22 starters from last year's state championship, 19 of them returned.
Yep.
So, I mean,
7A.
Essentially, they won the 7A state championship, which is
Uh-huh.
crazy because you've got 3 defending state champions still alive out of the 8 teams in Class 5A. That is insane. I've never heard of that before. Have you, Jamie?
And then Lee
I
County.
haven't.
And then Lee County.
Yeah,
And one that's 1 year removed from a state championship.
Langston Hughes. Anyway, I mean,
It's good stuff from here on in.
Yeah.
If it's isn't like the SEC, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So make your plans to be there. I mean,
Yeah, I want to challenge all our Yellow Jacket fans. Hey, most of us, hopefully, got lucky enough to have Friday off.
Yep.
I know that's the biggest shopping day of the year. I understand totally.
Hey, you can do that.
Get
on
your
the way-
shopping done.
Hey, you can just do that on the way back after the game. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely, you can
Stop
do
Stores
that.
stores open up about that time.
Yeah, you got to go right by what's the one up?
The outlets.
Outlets.
Yeah, what's
in-
that? Tangier,
Tanger.
Tanger,
Yeah.
Tangier,
Yeah.
or
In
whatever.
Tangier.
In Hampton up there.
Hey, buddy, I heard they got some amazing sales going on.
we ain't going shopping, though, Jamie. Maybe.
Oh, no, come on.
Oh, we going shopping. It's for a quarterfinal win.
There you go. There you go.
Brian and I will just keep going. Y'all can stop and.
Oh no, we're not stopping to shop.
No. It will be on Georgia Public Television, which is a big plus because anybody across the state or across the nation, all you have to do is go to Georgia Public Television's website and click on the Watch Now button, and you'll be able to watch it. We will be on the air, of course, WTUF's radio broadcast. Yeah. And I apologize for all of the technical stuff that we fought last week. We had everybody messaging us saying something's wrong with the mic, something's wrong with the mics.
And we appreciate y'all letting us know.
Absolutely.
1,000%. Yeah, because we don't know what it sounds like on the other end. All we know is what it sounds like inside the stadium. And inside the stadium, it sounded fine. Something to do with the cell service. It was bizarre. We used a phone that was connected through the internet that we've used the last 2 years. We used the same setup there last year.
Yep.
No problem.
Who knows?
But for this particular, maybe it was because it was cold. We were cold.
Yeah.
It wasn't as cold as the previous year though.
I don't know about that. I mean, it was cold.
Up there, there's no wind break up there by you. Oh man, I burned through
Up there in
Brian's
the air, it
hand
was cold.
warmers.
Yeah. But regardless, we switched the phone system out and plugged into a regular cell phone, and it worked fine.
Yep.
No clue. So please, if you guys at home, if there's some sort of issue with what you're hearing, let us know. And of course, you're going to.
Now let's go ahead and warn them. Now we will be set up in the stands, or y'all will. I'll be on the field.
We'll be in the
Now,
stands.
so it'll be a little loud, so you'll probably hear a lot of stuff. So, because our stadium, our fans are generally just loud. So that's what I like.
I think what we're planning on doing is getting up in a corner, kind of unto ourselves. Sort of.
How do you get in a corner with 1,500 seats?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Corner.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But man, the logistics of planning this thing this week has been crazy.
But I let people know we definitely need your feedback if you're listening. If something don't sound right, because number one, we'll be on generator power.
Yep.
There's
no power
on the
visitor
side.
Yeah.
So our work's cut out for us, but we're going to bring it home.
We've done it before.
We've done it before.
And it might snow.
Listen to Bryce.
With
That's
a
all he's
chance
been
of
talking about.
flurries.
That's all he's talking about.
I'm telling y'all right now. I told him last week. If it snows, it's gonna be me and him 1-on-1.
Hey, we'll be selling tickets for that one too.
And I'm here to tell y'all.
Well,
There gonna be bets going.
That thing will be just like Tyson and that other fellow.
Yeah.
I've been falsely accused.
4454.
That was on.
I hope he
Bad
just
Night-
don't show like he did when they interviewed him before. That was
What, half dressed?
yeah.
No, that ain't
No,
happening. Not
definitely
up there. I hope not. Good
You have to.
gracious alive. I don't even think about that in
If
28
you
degree
do,
weather.
that's more impressive than one way.
Yeah. Just dress warm. Dress warm. Bottom line. But we just need the place packed out. What I have in my mind, what I want to see is when Georgia Public Television kind of does their pan of the stadium, everybody's going, where's their fans?
Yep.
And that's possible. Just saying.
Well, I want them to say, man, the Langston crowd is huge, but why did they all wear blue and gold?
You got a point.
Hey, on that Georgia Public broadcast, that should be on cable TV
Yes.
too, right?
Yeah,
And
GP.
On
Yes.
CNN.
Yes.
Or CNS,
Could
right?
it
Yeah, it'll be
CNS
on
and Mediacom.
anything that pretty much everybody has, if you're in the state of Georgia, has.
Yeah.
would it
I
be
know.
like on a W?
Yeah, you can watch it on the air. I mean, through an antenna.
Can you get
Yeah.
that through Hulu and all
Yes,
this?
my
Yes,
in-laws
absolutely.
can watch it down in Woodville and Hulu. So
I'm pretty sure you can get on YouTube TV too. I
Yep.
think.
Oh,
You can.
But
yeah.
yeah.
Or just go to YouTube and look for Georgia Public Television. They're probably going to be streaming it live on there, I would bet you.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, you'll be able to watch the game. And I have had, I don't know how many people say, well, now, what do we do if we're watching the game? How do we get your radio stuff synced?
Good luck.
I don't know what to tell you. The only thing that folks have shared with me is instead of like listening through a radio, they're listening through their phone. And then you can pause it. I think is it iRadio? There's an app. There's a radio app
Mhm.
that you can download.
is it Tune In?
TuneIn Radio.
I've seen
Okay.
Tuned In.
TuneIn Radio. And you can listen to WTUF on the TuneIn Radio app, but then you can pause us to get it synced up with what you're watching on
Or
TV.
get it close.
Or
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
It'll be,
It will
not-
never be.
It won't be perfect.
perfect.
No.
Or
Just
their
remember-
website too.
Yep.
The
Either way.
stream's good on there,
Yep.
too.
Either way, but you can pause it and do it that way. So-
Dress warm and prepare to swarm.
Woo! Listen to Jamie Maters. Doggone poet and doesn't even know it. I like it.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Yeah, and folks are getting their tickets and get your tickets online.
So
That's the
are we
fecal
going to go
coming
this
out of
whole
me.
show without addressing the elephant in the room of the trip last weekend?
Now wait a minute.
Hold
now.
on now. What, the
Yeah,
snuffleupagus?
What?
Yeah, Casey just turned us down.
The
Well,
truck
I thought
The truck.
with
Oh,
the sound
oh,
system.
hey,
Ah!
we'll
Oh,
get to
my.
that. But there's been several questions about the fan bus.
Yeah, the fan bus, the deadline for being able to purchase the seats on that thing, I think is tomorrow.
And
And it's a different bus
we're
line.
going to try to get you there before the middle of the second quarter. All right.
I felt so sorry for the folks. I mean, we had people message me saying, we are in Carrollton. We can't go faster than 30 miles an hour.
my
The
gosh.
bus was
turbo
breaking
went
down.
out.
So
or
we had
something.
one bus make it, had to turn around and go back and pick the other people up, and then come back, and then they sent another bus up, and the poor folks didn't get home till
But,
5:45 Saturday morning.
I think we are using a different bus line.
different,
so
different. Trolley.
somebody had asked if we were using the
Yeah,
same
no.
people. No, we'll fool us once.
Yeah.
Jose Badillo, Sean Badillo, who's a former broadcasting student, asking about where's Jamie having that steak. I will tell you, it's Texas Roadhouse, right? The closest Texas Roadhouse to the stadium, 4:30ish or so. It'll
Is
be
that-
game on.
Is that the girl on the sideline?
No.
Okay.
Sean graduated several years ago. He's finishing up his broadcasting stuff.
Oh, okay.
Up, I think at Georgia State, if memory serves me.
Now let me tell y'all, we got Texas Roadhouse last week, and it's a swarm of people inside. And I just see Jamie Majors just part water. It's like the Red Sea.
Hey, I was right behind.
Make
him,
his
too.
way to the case and say, "Give me that one right
Yep,
there."
he picked one out.
Uh-huh.
But
Hey.
but back to the
That
truck.
wasn't good.
Back to the truck.
Okay.
Go. Somebody describe what happened here.
I wish we got a picture of it. There it is.
Right there.
Yeah. I don't
All
know. There's
6x9s.
there's 2 6x9s. I know that. There's
A tweeter.
5 1/4 inch round coaxials.
and a PA and a PA.
There's a PA horn at the top, and then like a high frequency tweeter down at the bottom. it's not even facing the cab of the truck. He's just entertaining the entire countryside. But when we rode by that thing, that was some redneck ingenuity.
Well, we were
right
going
there.
down the road, and we were like, what is this guy doing? I said, wait a second. I think he's playing music. Jamie rolled down the window. He said, yep, he's playing music.
The best part was that speaker box was like wrapped up with a pink leopard blanket.
Absolutely.
A blanket, yes.
It had it going on.
It was great.
And he was jamming to some country. And he was getting it.
He was happy as a pig in slop either, too.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, but it was. But we all just kind of got a chuckle out of that.
We knew we wasn't in Thomas County no more.
No, but there's probably some folks in Thomas County looking at that going, hey, wait a second here.
Or somebody
We've
probably,
already-
I sold him that box last year.
We've already. Hey, I think we've already asked Obie if that could be made, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've already talked to Obie about it.
The DJ's to go needs a system that reflects that.
DJ's on the go.
Yeah.
In case you've been in the back of a truck with that thing going down through
Hey,
the
that's
Rose
the plan for
Parade.
this weekend, Brian. I'll make one real
Okay.
quick before Friday, and we'll.
But no, we
We'll
need
put
to
it in the
make
back
one
of
and
the
put
truck,
you
we'll
in the
get it
back of it for the Christmas parade. DJ
Oh,
down
no,
there.
thank
Just
you.
saying.
Karaoke. That's exactly what
They'll
we'll
be
do.
rocking around the
There
Christmas
won't be
tree.
anybody at the
And
parade.
karaoke.
All right, so how about our game picks? What we got?
Ooh, here we
There you
go.
Load up now.
I mean, we've only got, I don't know.
Well, I went out on the
one.
limb big time last week, so I'd be interested
You
to
wanna
see
know
what
something?
happened.
You want to know something? Let me look before I say it.
And somebody
You made history.
wait. Let me point this out.
I
Real quick.
lost every game.
Jacob Carlton is saying something about the horns.
Okay.
I will say this. Philip Duplantis did text me this afternoon and said that the Langston Hughes folks, after we put something online about they had no stadium rule about the horns, apparently they do. At least that's what they're saying now. So, but my thing
Well,
is,
what's it matter?
if there's 3,000 of them in there, I'm not sure exactly how you police that. But anyway, just letting you know.
I mean, it's going to be our stadium by the end of it, so you know.
I
I don't
hope.
understand why 500 people should have a say over 3,000 anyway.
Majority rule.
Yeah,
Majority
majority
rule.
rule.
Well, it really doesn't matter. 'cause
Mob
the
rules.
alternative worked pretty good anyway.
Oh,
So.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, and I'm glad that you said something. I want to point this out. During the Georgia-Tennessee game 2 weeks ago at night, one of the most electric atmospheres the University of Georgia's had, and I don't know how long. The crowd maxed out at 128 decibels. Okay? One of the band members at our game the other night in the second quarter comes up to me with a decibel meter on his phone, 121. 121
Without horns.
without the horns. And that's just mind-blowing.
It's awesome, is what it is.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, well, how did he make history? What happened?
He was the first person in the Pick'em playoff to go undefeated in a week.
Whoa, Jamie Majors.
6-0.
It
Look at
felt,
him
it
now.
felt good.
Sam,
It was the thrill.
Have
Sam
yourself a
went,
blizzard.
Sam went
Outside of
5-1,
Camilla.
and the rest of us went 4-2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there we go.
Just
I
got
like
to pick what he picks.
it. It ain't rocket
Hey,
surgery.
Read what Obadiah said right there. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, that they've caught wind of what's
They've
going
caught
on.
wind
Yeah.
that they don't know how to pile a stadium.
Earl Brooks, who's our good friend, Earl is Cam's dad, and he is the host of the Talk That Talk 229 podcast that they do on Sunday nights. And of course, he's one of the moderators. If you're a high school football fan and you are not on the Talk That Talk 229 site, you need to go on.
It's awesome.
It is
Great.
It's great. But Earl said that one of his coworkers in Atlanta said that they had caught wind that all of us down here are saying that they don't have any fans and they're not going to be there, and they're apparently going to try to show us and prove us wrong. So, and honestly, I hope they do.
Yeah.
This is
They should be
Those
supporting
kids are
that
there
team.
to deserve it.
period.
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
they've been in the same position, at least 3 years
They
in a
won
row?
a state championship 2 years ago.
They've been in the quarterfinals for the last 5 years.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
they
those-
deserve some support.
Absolutely.
Them kids
100%.
should be getting support up there.
They should be able to look in the stands and see their people there just the way we see our people there. I mean, they've earned that. So I hope that the Langston Hughes folks show up, and I mean that.
And I
Me
will
too.
say this, for a team to go out and play like they have played without that support shows you a lot in that system.
Playing for
How
each
the
other.
kids play for each other,
Yep.
play for their coaches.
Kind of scary, actually.
It is.
It
Yes.
is. All right, so let's see what we got there, Bryce.
All right. We'll start with 9-3 Worth County at 9-3 Fitzgerald. These two played in the regular season, and I think Fitzgerald won by a touchdown.
28-21.
Rematch at Fitzgerald.
I'll say this. It's hard to beat a good team twice.
And we're scoring points.
And Worth County scoring points.
That's at Worth.
I will say this:
At Fitzgerald.
this may
That's what I got.
If Fitzgerald had they shouldn't be higher
No,
power
it should
ranked.
be at Worth because Worth won that region.
let me
Hold on.
tell you this.
Well, look.
I'll say this. I said that it's hard to beat a good team twice, all right?
Mm-hmm. Doggone Brian Slim.
But it's hard to
Watch
beat.
out.
But it's even harder to beat a team that's been there so many times and knows how to handle it.
Yep.
Worth County hadn't been there in a long time.
That
I'm
would
going
be,
Fitzgerald.
that would be A Division 1.
It says neutral site.
That
Max
means
Preps.
that means somebody didn't have enough to hold the Worth County was probably hosting.
But no,
Probably
it
didn't
should
have
be
enough.
at Worth County because Worth was ranked in the power rankings 4
Fourth,
and
and-
Fitzgerald was
Mm.
12. So it should be at Worth County.
And another thing too, I saw before we get back to this, Max Preps had the Brooks County game on a neutral site too.
Nah. Yeah,
And I don't know that high school doesn't play on a neutral site unless it's state championship.
don't
No,
trust
I'm
Max
just-
Preps.
And,
No. The semis can be at a neutral site,
But semi's not the quarters.
not in the quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about that earlier, how there is no rules as far as quarters go on seating capacity. So
Yep.
Okay.
that shouldn't come into play here.
Okay, I pick Fitz.
Okay.
I'm going Worth.
I'll go Fitz.
I'm going to go Worth County.
All right, I'm gonna go Worth to Casey.
Fitzgerald.
Sam, you said Fitzgerald.
See, Casey, he's all cocky this week because Auburn won. So I
Hey,
mean,
look,
that's all he knows.
in four overtimes
they won in
now.
4 overtimes. That's all he's worried about. So he's feeling his oats this week.
Looks like somebody's got to beat Alabama again to keep them out of the playoffs.
Mm.
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
Send them to Gainesville. Put them on a bus. We'll take them.
I wish Georgia could get a shot at him too. All right, so that's a heck of
Hey,
a game.
Worth County is at Worth County.
Okay.
Yeah, they're playing Fitzgerald there.
Right.
I just found a
Okay.
ITG Next posted something about it.
Cool.
All right. Let's do the next one. 10-2 Thomasville at 12-0 Dublin.
Golly. And
If Dublin didn't have 3,000-yard rushers, I would.
They have 3.
Dude,
Wow.
they got 3 backs that are phenomenal.
they run.
I know they had one really, really, really good one. I didn't know they had 3 of them.
I'll tell you, I'll go a step further. One's got almost 12. One's got over 12, and the other's over 1,000.
and they just rotate them, and they run the wing T. I mean, just line up. And
Now-
go right
now-
at you.
They're going to run right into what Thomasville does good now.
Yes,
Thomasville can play some D now. They can play some D.
and I don't.
I just don't know if Thomasville will be able to hang with them.
Some teams have teams that they just, it seems like automatically they have trouble with them.
Yeah.
And I think back to that game that Thomasville had with Dublin a couple of years ago where their running back had like 300 yards at the half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
But that running back was
Oh,
like
he
DeBrell Smiley.
He was a freak.
He was 240 pounds, 6'2",
Yeah.
or something like that. And like Tommy
You're,
Rainey.
you're right. Because anytime it's like Cairo when they play Troop,
Yeah.
always have trouble. If we play Harris County,
Yep.
something crazy is going to happen.
Guaranteed.
Why did
Whatever
you
reason.
mention that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not in our
you're right.
division. You're
No,
right.
you're
It's
right.
fine.
I'm gonna
It's
probably
fine.
break something leaving here. We always get injured playing.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too: the closest game Dublin's had this year was they won 56-34. That's the closest game.
Who
they've
was
had.
that?
Southwest.
Mm.
That's all it says.
I know Eastman made the playoffs, and I think they dusted Eastman
Let's see.
or Dodge County. I'm sorry.
Dodge.
They beat Dodge 50-33. It's about the same margin. but
I don't want to pick against Thomasville.
they've got the odds against them.
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
I hope
Yeah.
they win.
I do too.
I would love to see Thomas County take over the Mercedes
I
in
would
2
too.
weeks.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if they
3
they
weeks.
get there or if somehow it happens and we both get there.
Be
Did
incredible,
I hear
man.
somebody say
Same
that
day.
it would be
Same
the
day.
same?
Same
Yep.
They play at 1. Our division plays at 7.
Oh my
So
gosh.
if that happens,
It would be incredible.
there's no excuse.
For
Just
You know,
shut-
fans of each team wouldn't stay there all day.
There'd be
shut town down.
tumbleweeds rolling down Jackson Street because
You
you know what? It ain't too late.
What you mean?
I'm gonna go with Thomasville.
You know, I am too.
Yeah.
because
I'm
they're
picking
going to
Thomasville.
run right into what they do the best.
And let me say this:
it's going to be closer than their other games.
what
are for sure.
Thomasville can throw the football.
Yeah.
And they've got a great running attack, but Cam Hill, when he's on,
They
he's
gotta
as good as
protect him
anybody.
because I hear Dublin's front
Yep.
is really good.
Yep.
But they got to protect Cam Hill.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going Thomasville.
going
Anybody
Thomas.
else willing to jump on the train?
Sam?
I'm going Dublin.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it.
I get it too.
Yeah.
Before they jumped ship, I was going to pick Thomasville. I was hoping I was.
I
Gonna be the
was
only one.
too, actually,
Yeah.
but I'm not anymore.
I'm going to pick Thomasville still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What you got?
What you think, Casey?
I'm going to go
Thomasville.
Dublin.
I was going to do Thomasville, but I just.
Well,
That's a toss up.
It's
I mean,
probably
that
gonna
really
be their
is.
closest score.
Yep.
Like between the two teams.
Yeah,
Do y'all
within
realize
each
that
other.
Thomasville's been to, is it 5 out of the last 6 years?
Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals?
Yeah, it's pretty sporty.
They've been there.
Not
So-
bad a bit. All right, what you got?
All right. 10-2 Coffee County at 11-1 Sequoia.
I'm going Coffee. I think they are peaking at the right time.
I'm going to say this. It goes back to like what you talked
I
about.
think they're perking at the right time.
They're doing what?
What do you call it?
Percolating.
Percolating at the
They're
right time.
perking. They're perking. I didn't know that was legal, but
Hey, it's okay.
I
out in
mean,
public anyway. But
They're percolating at the right time.
Brian, you good?
Give me the Chiefs.
The chefs.
Burger
RD.
Chef,
Yeah.
Burger Chef, and Jeff.
Googly
And
moogly.
for the reason of Sequoia, it's one of those when they are hitting their stride, just like Coffee is.
I'll tell you.
But
Yeah.
that's a long trek up there. I think Sequoia is excited about it. Never been this far in the playoffs before.
But-
Hosting this big game, I'm excited about
You
it.
got a championship pedigree
But-
there with Coffee County. They've been in this spotlight before. Anyway, yeah.
But
it should be a
against
great game.
Sequoia, it's going to be a tall task.
Who have they played?
Sequoia?
Yeah.
He's making a redwood
Red word.
red word and a redwood reference
Hey,
here.
don't even say nothing else to me about no bad words. Red word.
Yeah, I'm going Coffee. Casey, what you think?
Coffee.
Sam?
Coffee, I guess.
I was gonna get the schedule up for Sam.
I'm,
Yeah.
going, I'm going coffee too.
So they
So-
come, like I said, they come out of Sprayberry.
Too strong. guys.
I've never heard of
So
them.
they lost to Sprayberry, which is playing Lee this weekend. They lost to Sprayberry 31-17.
Okay.
Daggum, how good Sprayberry?
They beat Gainesville
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
who they beat.
that's it.
38-28.
That's like their
first
signature
round.
win, I think.
Right. Yeah, well, that's a big win.
Is that their only loss on the year was Sprayberry?
Yep.
Yes.
Was that in the beginning or the end?
It was middle of the season, September 13th.
Oh,
Region.
yeah. I'll go Sequoia then.
I'm going to go Sequoia as well.
Okay.
All right.
Casey, what'd you say? Coffee?
Coffee.
Okay.
Yes.
1 second.
Hopefully they're not decaf. I'm just saying. Chiefs by 17, says Hulk Flournoy. By the way,
Chefs.
Hulk, compliments on your son, Little Hulk, Tristan. To me, the hustle play of the game last week was him chasing the quarterback down from behind, a defensive lineman chasing the quarterback down from behind after that guy had about a 10-yard head start. And another play that nobody's talking about was the punt return where Trey Pringle came out of nowhere with a guy that had busted open in the middle of the field. And Trey, I mean, you're talking the punt returner for Rome. I don't know where Trey came from.
Yeah.
Just like he just materialized.
I'll tell
Anyway.
you something about the Tristan's play last week. Reminded me a lot of when LaShawn run down the quarterback or the running back for Dublin that year with the boy that was supposed to be
Ryan Taylor. I remember it.
going to Auburn.
Yep.
And then
All right, so
But-
Ready for the next one?
what we
yes,
got?
sir.
All right. 11-1 Buford at 12-0 North Gwinnett.
Whew.
Buford.
That didn't take long.
Now, North Gwinnett barely beat Colquitt, I'm pretty sure.
Oh no.
Was it?
It was
Oh, I
35
mean-
to 14 or something. It was.
I thought it was about 2 touchdowns. What
It
I said.
was.
I guess
It
so,
was,
barely
but
rightly.
Man, that's
You see.
I thought it was 20.
Moultrie was playing good,
28-14.
man. I thought it's in the 30s.
Let me see here. North Gwinnett, they defeated pop-ups. They defeated Colquitt 14-3.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I know they did win because we
They
had that
won,
game.
but that
early.
ain't the score.
Yeah, that's it. 14-3.
Yeah, it was.
We had that game on the pick'ems that week, and I picked them, so I'm gonna pick them again.
That's 8:30.
Yeah, that was August the 30th.
Yeah.
That's when they played them. That wasn't the time, I don't think.
I thought they played last week.
Mm-mm.
Who did Moultrie play last week?
They played Collins Hill.
Collins.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
28-14 was the final.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Collins Hill beat Colquitt 28-14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bad as I thought.
Yeah, I got to go Buford.
Beauty.
North Gwinnett beat.
Let me see here.
Hold on, go back.
They beat Mill Creek.
Yeah, that's it.
37-34. And I've been told by folks who are up there said they're kind of the sleeper team in Class 6A. But
North Gwinnett.
Yep. But Buford's Buford.
Yeah, Buford is Buford.
Black helmets with the NG on it. I've seen them in the dome.
Yeah.
100 times.
Yep.
It seems like.
All right,
I'm going Buford.
Buford.
What you think, Casey? I'm going Buford.
I want to go North Gwinnett just to be different.
Okay.
NG. What you got, Brian?
North Gwinnett.
I hear you, Mr. NG.
Mm.
we're siding a lot tonight. I don't like it.
You NG too?
As I said, I picked them for the Colquitt
got
North Gwinnett game. I picked them and they won there, so I'm gonna take them again.
I got you.
All right, big game.
By the way, again,
Oh,
thanks
I
to
guarantee I know
Dairy
where this one
Queen.
is.
Get to shout out.
Yep.
Greg Davis, thank you again.
This is the Blizzard picks of the week right here.
And that was a hot peppermint hot chocolate with chocolate slivers.
Slitherings.
Slithering.
All right,
I know where he's going.
Houston.
Right here. God,
8-4 Houston County at 12-0 Milton.
Milton.
I cannot bet with my heart here. I can't
Yeah.
not bet, but
Yeah.
I'm going Milton.
You got to pick Milton.
Milton.
Milton Bradley.
Do you really have to pick them? Because I'm not. Houston County. Give them to me.
Not so fast there, little
Give
guy.
them to me. Give them to me.
Half the family bucking the system here.
The youngins split.
Brian might do the same thing. I see that look.
What you doing, Casey?
Milton.
Milton.
Put 10 on
Okay.
it.
Put 10 on it.
No, not that much. No. I'll do it for giggles.
So
That's
y'all
what
ready
it
to
is.
roll the dice?
And Obadiah says, let's all say that we want Hoko to win.
Yes,
absolutely.
there's no question.
They gonna win.
If
What you
you-
talking about?
If you had your whole region in the semifinals, I don't know if that's ever happened before.
I've never heard of it.
If that does happen,
They would-
that's going to be nuts.
That's
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I
Awesome.
can tell you what we could do.
Sporty.
Just plant the seed.
Uh-oh.
If our whole region makes the semis, I say we just boycott the daggum Mercedes and have a championship down here.
You
What
got
they
a
gonna
point.
do? Who's gonna show up?
You got a point. You got a point.
I mean,
Talking about-
we're gonna
Talking
have
about the
to.
finals.
Yeah, the finals just because it'll be all us.
Almost wish you could play the semis at a neutral site and have everybody at one time.
Oh, that-
play
yeah, that
one
would
game
be
and then
fun.
play the next one.
Man, that'd be,
Is that all of them?
That's it.
Okay. Well,
Only-
heck,
only
those
5
are
this
great
week.
games.
that
Guys, it is almost
awesome, dude.
8:30.
Oh, goodness.
My hat's off to you tonight. You pulled some good ones,
Those are good
Appreciate
ones.
it.
Those are good ones.
and they're from all over the
Yeah.
map too. You done a great job there.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the Jacket Nation will get your tickets and you will travel. Everybody's got Friday off. There's no excuse to not be there. Dress warmly and bring your radios with you. We'll be broadcasting inside the stadium. We're going to start at 88.5. I have no idea what we're going to run into frequency-wise, but we'll
Yep.
figure it out and we'll communicate it with everybody there. But you can listen inside the stadium. And if nothing else, you bring your headphones and that keeps your ears warm.
That's right.
Yeah, that helped out a lot.
Also, somebody commented, make sure y'all leave early because it is Thanksgiving traffic with everybody coming home.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
yeah, and it looks like when I looked at it, the best route is definitely going to go up through Columbus and hit 85, and you'll backdoor
Yeah.
right into
Okay.
Fairburn.
Yep. What it sounds like.
Looks like.
So
Go up 75, you're gonna have to get
You have
off
to
kinda
at
weed,
College
yeah.
Park
Yeah.
or something and go across.
But just enjoy it. And this is the last thing I want to say to our fans and to our team or whoever else may be watching this thing. And I want to mention the Andrews twins. I told them I was going
Absolutely.
to mention Isaac and Isaiah today. They were in there bothering Tristan Flanoy and Omari Stevenson when they were being interviewed for the tailgate
How
show.
good have those kids
Oh,
played?
man, they've grown up. All of them.
Ah.
Just being in there with them, looking at them, the sense of confidence they've got now about themselves, they know they can do it.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know, 13 games ago we would have been saying that. But,
And they've been a crucial part, too.
oh, big time.
Fan bus leaves at 12 on Friday.
Okay. But just if you're a Yellow Jacket fan, just enjoy this. Just enjoy this because this is, as we mentioned earlier, and I mentioned it to Coach Rogers today, and he was stunned to hear it. This is the second time in our program history that we've had back-to-back-to-back quarterfinals. The only other time that happened, 92, 93, 94. That's it.
I thought that we made the quarterfinals and
We got beaten round 2. Kendrick,
I'm talking
95.
about with Charlie and
2 years in a row.
86, 87. Oh, 3 years. in a
3
row.
years in a row.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is rarefied air right here. So just enjoy it.
Well, we were in the semis 2 years in a row.
Yes. That's right.
In 86 and 87.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
And, of course, they were in the semis
I don't
92,
know
93, 94, too.
That's exactly. Ooh,
And 96, 97. But
I'm just gonna hush.
oh, no. You're right. But
I just wanted to make sure them boys got there.
yeah, the 86 and 87 teams kind of set the tone. But just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. In one way or another, if you're not making the trip, tune in on the radio. If you're not going to be doing that, watch it on Georgia Public Television. This is going to be a fun night. Two very, very good football teams. I think it's an even match heading in, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Who knows? You may even see some snow.
Bruh.
Even Sam said it.
The
Look,
worst
Hey, I'm just
weatherman
saying.
Man, if looks could kill, Bryce would be dead 3 times now, based on what's happened from Brian Davis. Right
Y'all,
now.
yeah, y'all would be too.
So how about this? If it starts snowing, we get a taser and tase him.
Oh.
At least it warmed me up. At
I was
least,
gonna
I
say,
guess.
that's right. One way to make sure your blood's flowing. Good gracious. All right, let's make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, say a prayer for the buses. Make sure everybody gets there. Totally agree. And Ashley Sowell says, thanks to everybody for the goodie bags. And let's hope that we play a safe game and everybody gets home safe. Just travel safe. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. It is a special time to be a Yellow Jacket. And we're thankful for not just y'all, but all y'all. Casey, what just happened?
Nothing?
Okay, I just lost my hearing or something.
What?
You must have lost
that's
your hearing.
normal.
Okay, but just we're thankful for all y'all, and thankful that you're a part of what we're doing. We will be back here next Thursday night for hopefully. I mean, we'll review what happens this week, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about the first ever semifinals in the Jackson.
And maybe some special plans.
maybe
Maybe some special plans coming up for next week.
Stay tuned in.
Stay tuned.
Could be. Sounds like hey.
I hope it's another game preview. I hope.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Other
guys.
than that,
Let's get out of here. And again, thanks to Greg Davis and everybody at Dairy
Absolutely.
Queen for sponsoring the Swarmcast with the Jamie Majors Blizzard
and
of the
the
Week.
live stream too.
That's right.
Greg, y'all do an awesome job, man. Thank you so much. Rick Vanderhoff, I know he's listening. Rick, stay safe and go Jackets.
Amen. Guys, let's get out of here. Y'all have yourself a great Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much, and go Jackets. Thanks, Sam.